thanks for stopping by. I appreciate the time we spent speaking lines, however superficial.
Hi, my name is Eric Chance, and I wanted to do this video to show the difference between what I have recorded and what I have allowed AI to make for me. And when I say make for me, I spent a long time recording a few songs, quite a few songs. And this being the one that I'm going to present here, being one that I probably spent a little bit of time recording it. I've traditionally just been a bass player. You can see my Carvin that I spent quite a bit of money on, and I also have a guitar here that I'm trying to learn how to play. I'm not a great guitar player. It's a IYV, if you're wondering. I also have, some over here, but those are the two that the IYV I bought to eventually. I wanted to make it hybrid. That was my idea, because it's a copy of a PRS that I love, that I could never afford in my lifetime, unless people want to give me money. That would be nice. But anyway, what I'm attempting to do here is show that I am a real musician. I play music. Am I great? No. Am I, top tier? No. Am I a hobby musician? Yes, I'm a hobby musician. I write songs. I've written songs since I can remember, since I was 13. I remember being 13 and riding my bike down the street, and I was singing this song, and I'm singing it, and I'm jamming to it, and I can hear everything in my head, and I can hear all the drum parts and all the guitar parts, and I've got the whole thing going on in my head, and I remember thinking to myself, what song is this? It's like I've heard it somewhere before, but I don't know what song is this? And I thought about it. I said, it's my own song. I'm writing my own. I'm like singing my own song. Kind of cool. And at that point, I was just a really, really poor kid, and so I didn't have instruments or access to instruments or know anybody that really played anything, and so it was just cool, whatever. I was making up songs in my head. Fast forward 4 years, and my best friend and another really, really good friend of ours were just sitting around playing. They played guitar. They started playing guitar, and we'd sit around, and I would sing, because I didn't have an instrument, so I would just sing. I was a horrible singer, but I did it anyway. That's partially where I learned to love to sing. And anyway, so it started off with just those two guys and me singing, and then the next thing I know, we're jamming with another guy, Joe. So Joe, Tim, and Eric, and myself, and I'm not gonna say last names, but the next thing I know, we had a little band going, and my dad had said, well, who's gonna play the bass? And I was like, I don't know. And so he's like, you're not the greatest singer in the world, and also there's some great bass players that sing, so why don't you play the bass? And he was right. I wasn't the greatest singer in the world, so I was like, it's interesting. And another thing is that right at that same time, I had recently, at that point, just been over another friend of mine's house, Greg. I'm not going to say his last name. And his brother was selling a BC Rich Warlock bass. And I was just like, that is badass. that is such a badass instrument. And but I didn't know what it was. I really didn't know what the difference was between a bass and a guitar. You know, I was like, yeah, that's really cool, but I don't have any idea, you know, the difference between that and you know, whatever. But I knew at that moment that I wanted to play that. And I had this acoustic guitar that I had bought that I was trying to learn how to play, and one of the strings, the high E, had broken. And so I took the B off, and I just learned to play the bass on an acoustic guitar that had 4 strings, the E, A, D, and G strings. And I, believe it or not, I took it to practice one time and was just like, here, let me just, and you could barely hear me. You couldn't really hear me because they had their little amps, and you know, the bass, the drummer had his thing. And I played my little $80 Horner, I don't remember, something that started with the H, Horner, something like that guitar. It was a piece of crap, but that's where I learned to play the bass. And then my dad said, I think the guy across the street selling a bass guitar for like $100, and it comes with a little amp. And I was like, really? He's like, you know, at the time I think I was making like $6.35 an hour, if that. And you know, I didn't have a whole lot of money. I had to pay rent, you know, and my dad and I were roommates. I wasn't living with my dad, you know, I was roommates with my dad. I had to pay half the rent and half all my car insurance. And anyway, didn't have a whole lot of money. So he's like, I'll help you out, you know, I'll help you out. I'll give you you know, he was still my dad, but I'll help you out. I'll help you buy it. And so he helped me buy this thing, and he gave me some of the money. I put some of the money, and I had a bass. And I took the little amp, because I didn't have a speaker, and I hooked it to a stereo speaker, which the ohms were off, and it didn't sound great, but it worked. It worked, and I had a bass to play in the band. I started trying to learn Cliff Burton stuff, you know, because we were heavy into Metallica at the time. And I really digress into all that, you know. Anyway, fast forward, I meet a friend, I meet another guy, you know, I was jamming those guys for a while. I meet another guy a couple years later, and we start playing more progressive music. We met in a way that was interesting. He was my neighbor, and he came over one night, and we had a couple beers or whatever, and we started talking about music. You know, he's like, yeah, I play guitar. I was like, oh yeah, I play the bass a little bit, you know, I was learning to play. And he's like, cool, you know. He's like, he gave me a tape of interesting. He gave me a tape, not this one, but he gave me a tape. I got these down from the attic because they have, that guy, we have like hours and hours and hours of taped recordings, practices, basically, that I bought a little recorder, and I would just set it up in the corner of a room, and we would practice and tape it. I have hours and hours of that, and I was thinking about doing this very thing, playing it into Suno AI, and seeing what it would do, you know, just those old practices, and have, I don't know, you never know, you know, because I have this program, I might as well utilize it, see what weird things I could do with it. And that's my perspective on AI, is what kind of weird things can I do with it. I don't want it to write songs for me. I don't want it to I don't want to prompt it and tell me what a song is. In fact, one of the things I hate most about Suno is the fact that it changes what you try to put into it. And that annoys the shit out of me. I don't want a program that does that. If I knew of a better program, I would use it. One that just adds musicians, because I would love to have a keyboard player. You know, I can play this thing a little bit. You know, I could play with my right hand a little bit. Am I a great keyboard player? I am not a great keyboard player. It's like a Yamaha MX49, and it has some great sounds on it, and I love it. And I've used it in this program that I'm going to show you, this song that I'm going to show you today. I used some of the AI features that it has on it, because it has a little bit of an AI feature on it, and also I used it to, I played some of the parts. I am not a great keyboard player. I can play out the chords, and I can kind of do some interesting things. But when it gets intricate on the keyboard, I'm not that great. I'm not that great at it. Because I am, you know, I'm learning how to do it, and I'm not just letting AI do it for me. I am out here, in this room that I have, you know, hours and hours and hours trying to learn how to play this thing, that thing, and that thing, and most of all, I you know, acoustic guitar, bass, and a little bit electric in this. And then I try to sing, and I'm not a good singer, but I got what I got, and I have to be able to use what I have to make my art. And I have this innate desire to create, and if I don't do it, it drives me crazy. That's what I do. It's what I enjoy. And I recently, I took all this stuff that, you know, I got this going on, but I took all this stuff that that I recorded, and I decided, I said, you know, I seen what, you know, Suno did with one of my songs, and I was like, wow, you know, I found it to work. I finally got it to work on my computer. Now, the version that I had that was only on the phone, you couldn't really do nothing with it. And then they changed it, and I could get it to work on my computer and on my phone. Now, I have to use them in conjunction, because there's this weird thing going on with it, that only some of the stuff works on my computer, and only some of the stuff works on my phone. The half of the program works on my phone, half of the program works on my computer. I can't get it to work like cohesively. Well, I can get it to work cohesively only if I use both things. So I have to use them back and forth and send them back and forth to myself. It's this convoluted thing, but I got it to work. Even though it like completely pisses me off, because Suno likes to change your shit. It doesn't want to keep it the same. It wants to change it. It never wants to keep it the same. It wants to do its thing, you know. And I've always wanted to record an album. I've been trying for years to record this album, to record this concept album that I had in mind. And it's bittersweet, because it has helped me do it, and I put it out, and I recorded it. I put it on, oddly enough, I put it on a disc and sent it. Not sent it. Well, I did send it to my dad. I sent it to. I gave it to another good friend, Bob. I can say his last name. Try not to say last names. And I've got that disc, you know, for a few other people. My friend Dave, that I used to be in a band with, I want to make a disc for him. I gave him the link for my Suno, and he listened to the crappy Suno versions. I say crappy Suno versions because there's the version that Suno will give you that, in my opinion, is relatively crappy. It's, you know, it's okay, but it changes your shit. And instead of taking what you had and just like enhancing certain parts. It wants to completely destroy and, you know, dismiss this whole part. And so in order for me to get my song sort of back, I have to like do this convoluted shit in order for Suno not to completely change my song. And so that's slightly annoying, but I'm also using Suno in a creative way. And so I'm not just outsourcing creativity to the AI. Personally, I'm trying to use the AI as a extension of my creativity. And that's what I wanted to show in this video, in this long-winded opening thing. That's what I want to show. And that's probably what I'll be showing instead of showing my ugly mug. I'll probably be showing parts of, excuse my dog barking. That's all she ever does. I want to show parts of the Suno process. Well, maybe not the process, but show parts of the Suno, show parts of what I recorded, and show you the difference between what I recorded and what I tried to take and put into Suno and get a product. Now, granted, Suno, it gives you a very polished sound, where I'm never going to get that polished of a sound. I don't have the money for a producer. I don't have the money to hire musicians. I know there's this new thing out there where you can spend like $300 a month and you can get real people to help you. I can't, there's no way. I wish I could afford that. I wish. I mean, if you want to donate to me and maybe I could get real people, that'd be great. I'm not sitting here asking for donations. I just, you know, I have what I have to work with, you know, and I can do the Suno. I can work with that for like $40 a month or something like that. And then I get production quality stuff. And unfortunately, that's what all I have to work with. I don't have the money to hire people. I have tried for years to be in different bands and make music happen, make my progressive music happen with different bands in my area, different people in my area. It's not possible. It's not freaking possible. I've tried for years to be in this band or that band and make this happen or make that happen. Oh, it's so frustrating. I live in an area of cover bands. The only thing people want to play around here is Led Zeppelin. I swear, that's the only thing people want to play around here. If you don't play Led Zeppelin in a live band, in a live band, or Pink Floyd or whatever, and I love Pink Floyd. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a big fan of Zeppelin, but I love Pink Floyd. You're never gonna do it. You're never gonna find people that are willing to play with you, you know, and especially not if you're into the more progressive, like me. What am I into? If you were to take Pink Floyd, The Grateful Dead, Nine Inch Nails, and roll them into a joint and smoke it, that's me. That's what I'm into. That's what I like to do. And so, you know, that's what I put together is something like that. You know, I like a little bit of metal with my progressive metal, I should say, with my hippie music. I do. So, you know, what music have I been? I guess in the vein of the original Blind Melon album. You know, that's the direction that I've been going my entire. I love that original Blind Melon album. That's one of my all-time favorites. And so, did I intend to be that? No. You know, it's just, you know, that's that genre, whatever that is. They had this jam band feel, and so I guess that's where I've always been. You know, I remember being like 10, you know, borrowing my uncle's Frank Zappa album, Apostrophe and Overnight Sensation, and loving it, because, you know, that was my first foray into jam band music. You know, I didn't know what jam band music was at the time, but it sounded good to me. That, you know, that Frank Zappa stuff, what was going on there musically, I was wow, just mind blown of what was going on sonically. You know, am I a Frank Zappa fan? Not really. You know, I mean, some of the stuff after Overnight Sensation and Apostrophe, I wasn't personally a fan of. Do I know a lot of people that were? Yeah. You know, do I think that that means that Frank Zappa wasn't talented? No, because Frank Zappa was extremely talented, and so was the people he had around him. But I just couldn't get into the lyrics. I just couldn't. I don't know. It was weird to me. But anyway, I digress again. And it's going to make this video extremely long, but I don't care. You know, a lot of people need to expand a little bit. Anyway, but I'm probably going to have my saying this over the top of the music playing. But otherwise, that is the first video that I'm going to do like this. And I'm probably going to do quite a few and show a few different songs that I've recorded from my first record called The Wise Man on the Hill. This is a song from it called The River That Runs Through the Valley. Please enjoy. And if I've rambled, sorry. Have a good day.
Done in. Sun passes by, the night has fallen. In the valley that makes me feel free. Come along, it's far, far away. Won't you come with me? Come along. Waiting for motion down by the river. Sweet, sweet motion down by the river. Won't you take me down by the river? We can make it down by the river. There's a new kind of peace we all must search for. Come along, and peace of mind is what we call for. Come along, won't you take me down by the river? We can make it down by the river. Waiting for devotion down by the river. Sweet, sweet emotion down by the river. takes a hit and blows it at me. Blows it at me. Because the sun is shining down by the river, all the band of the road is down by the river. All going on the girl down by the river. I can't make it down by the river. As the sun goes down, the day fades away. Night cools in, but tomorrow's a new day. The sun is shining down by the river. Burn your nature down by the river. Come on, hang it down by the river. We can go down by the river. There's a hole in the sky, a new day's dawning. The sun passes by, the night has fallen. But I don't mind. No, there's a place in the valley that makes me feel free. Come on now. It's far, far away, won't you come with me? Come along. Waiting for devotion down by the river. Sweet, sweet emotion down by the river. Won't you take me down by the river? We can make it down by the river. There's a new kind of peace we all must search for. Peace of the mind is what we call for. Won't you take me down by the river? We can make it down by the river. Waiting for devotion down by the river. Sweet, sweet emotion down by the river. I know we're short on time. Oh, yeah. We gotta make our lives less superficial.